So now we're going to create an application server domain. And I think yesterday, could you go to administer a domain?
Here?
One. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you see, there is this second domain, CS92U033. We started, we started creating that domain, but we did not configure it. So let's
Correct.
delete this domain and we'll start from scratch. So go one step back.
So how do I still go back? Okay, like this?
Q. Q.
Three.
Yeah.
Q? Q
Yeah.
or
Q
three?
or 3 or anything. Anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, uh, oh, sorry. No, we have to delete a domain. So it would
Yeah.
be option 3.
Q. Three.
Yeah.
Two.
And select second. Yeah. Enter.
No, enter? Yes,
Oh,
is it?
so you've selected. Yeah.
No, I have
Say
to
yes.
select yes. Yeah. Enter. Deleted successfully. So if I just do
Yeah.
the admin domain, there should be only one. Yeah,
Right.
okay. Quit.
Yeah. So then just give me 1 minute. I'll
Okay.
go to another room and uh, here I think the network is a bit weak. So there's a
Okay.
lag. So I'll just switch.
Sure.
Yeah, Chetan.
Okay.
So go to application server and
Create.
create a domain.
So we use the same name?
Enter the domain name. Yeah.
CS
92U033.
92033.
Enter.
One.
Now select developer
Yeah. Okay.
and it will, load this menu. Now this is the summary of your configuration and there are some values that you can change directly from here. But if you want
Okay.
to go and have a look at all the configuration items, you can go to custom configuration, that is number 15. But for now, we will just configure everything from here. So I'll tell you what all these options are. So the first one, pub sub servers, it is related to your integration broker. So pub sub stands for publish and subscribe. So what this will do is it will start the server processes related to integration broker. If this is set yes, if it is no, it will skip those processes. Like it will not start the IB related processes. So on this domain, we don't need the IB related processes. We're just going to use this for testing and later we are going to delete it. So let's keep it no.
Okay.
uh, the second one, quick server. So there are some queries like you want to check if the user's account is locked or not. Now that check is required on every login. Like does not matter who is logging in. This one SQL like select account log from OPRDFN table where OPR ID equal to this. So this SQL is going to be executed thousands of times and such SQL which take very less time but are executed more frequently will go to this quick server process. So there is one process called PSQCK SRV, which is responsible for executing these kind of SQLs. And why there is a separate process for that? Okay, let me share my screen. It would be easier for you to understand.
Okay. Yeah, I can see now.
So on the server processes, you have PSAP PSRV, which is responsible for all your online transactions. Say, let me change, or just assume that there is one process called PSQCKSRV. Let me write it down here. PSQCKSRV, quick serve. So
Mm.
what happens is the sequels which are executed by this server process can also be executed by PSAPP SRV. It's not a mandatory process. This quick SRV is not a mandatory process. If it is disabled, your PSAPP SRV is going to take care of those sequels. But what happens is, say you have many concurrent users and the queue is really long. This app queue, the requests in this queue is like they're huge in number. So even those simple sequels, like if someone is trying to log in, even those simple sequels have to wait for the time. Like they have to wait in the queue till this process picks them up and executes against the database, and that will impact your user experience. Like even login will start taking more time. So for those kind of sequels, you have a dedicated process, quick serve, so that even if PSAPP SRB is busy handling long running sequels or more complicated transactions, the simple things can be taken care by quick SRB. That is the primary purpose of this process.
Mm. Okay.
Got it? But this is optional. Like if you don't enable this, your
Mm.
PSAPP SRV is going to take care of those sequels as well.
Okay. Only thing is, if there are lots of traffic, then you need this.
Right,
Yeah.
right. If you want to, like if you have capacity on your server and if you want to make the user experience better, you can
Mm.
enable this quick SRV. This will act as an advantage.
Mm.
Then
Okay.
we talked about this pub sub services, right? Pub
Yeah.
sub servers, those are related to integration broker. So your uh, if you go here on the web server, you have this psigw.war,
Yeah.
which is your integration gateway.
Yeah.
So all your integrations which communicate through the web server,
Yeah.
uh, these, like gateway is just the entry point.
Yeah.
Eventually the requests will be passed to your app server for business processing.
Okay.
So just like these server processes, you have dedicated processes for integration broker. Uh,
Okay.
those are called pub sub servers. So you'll have something like PS pub. Uh, I don't remember the exact name, but broker, PS sub broker, then PS pub handler, something like this.
So the
So these
three or
processes,
four processes.
yeah, like I think around six processes will start extra. Like there would be extra six processes if you enable this option,
Oh, okay.
right?
And
And
each
these are
process,
all integration broker related.
and each process would have a different role.
Sorry,
Each process within that sub
right,
servers will have different role.
right, right. So there is something called broker and there is something called handler.
Yeah.
So these processes will take care of your integration.
Okay.
Now there is a name for it. So on web server you have integration gateway, and on your application server, um, like the group of these processes, it is called integration engine.
Mm.
Let me name that here. Integration engine. So integration engine is on your application server. The actual business processing or execution of your integration is done on the application server, but the entry point is your gateway on the web server.
Sure.
And let me go to PeopleWorks 8.61. So if you go to this section, integration broker, you will, one second. Yeah. Yeah. So this integration gateway, which is on your web server, looks something like this. So let
Mm.
me zoom out. So on your web server, you have something called gateway manager, and then you have different connectors. So depending on what kind of application your third party is, these connectors will take up the request. For example, your third party is a PeopleSoft application. So there is a dedicated connector for PeopleSoft for handling systems, PeopleSoft systems. If your third party system works on HTTP, like if they have shared an HTTP link with you, then HTTP connector will be used, something like that. And most used connectors are PeopleSoft and HTTP. There are more. This is not the full list actually. There would be, okay. So there are other connectors as well, and
So
these are the listening connectors.
what are connectors, by the way?
So just give me one second.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, come again.
So I said, what are list connectors? The connectors,
So connectors, like, one
listening
second.
connectors.
So
Okay.
listening connectors. So say on your web server, there is a gateway,
Yeah.
integration gateway. Your request comes in. Now, say this request was from a mail server, right, which uses SMTP
Okay.
protocol. Now, another request came, which is from a government agency, which is exposed via HTTP. So there is an HTTP request that has come on the gateway. Like you have shared your URL and they are hitting your URL. Now, this is non-PeopleSoft. This request is non-PeopleSoft. And there is third request which has come, which is from your internal system. Say PeopleSoft HR is sending you the request, like it is sending some user profile information or employee information to your system. Now, gateway is a common thing, and it should be able to, like, it should be capable of handling all kinds of requests. Now, you cannot write just one block of code and expect it to handle all these, uh, all kinds of requests. So this segregation of connectors is because you have different blocks of codes. Like you can say that there are different methods. So say there is a mail method which is dedicated to SMTP connections. There is PeopleSoft method which is dedicated to PeopleSoft connections. There is mm, HTTP or web method which is dedicated to HTTP connections. So if HTTP request comes, then this block of code executes. If mail request comes, this block of code executes. So these are the connectors, basically some kind of a servlet. residing
Okay.
on your
All right. Okay.
web server. So we will see when we configure integration broker, you will
Okay.
be giving the PeopleSoft listening connectors URL. So
Okay.
your URL will end with this string, PeopleSoft listening connector. And
All
this
right.
would be a servlet which is sitting on your web server. So
Okay.
basically, there are some pieces of codes which are responsible for handling certain kind of requests. So there are listening connectors, and then there are target connectors, and there are gateway services. As in, say your message has gone to error, then it should write to a log file. It should insert in some table. All those kind of services are provided by your gateway. So you can look for the errors on your web server. Any gateway related errors will be returned on your web server's file system. So
Mm.
error messaging and logging, message validation. So say the schema is matching or not. Say what you have provided. Say you have provided a web service in which you are expecting name. This is the name and then say ID.
Yeah.
So there is a predefined schema of your message, and if the request that is coming, like if that matches your schema or not, that validation is also done at the gateway level, right? So message validation, XML parsing. If it is an invalid XML, it would be rejected at the gateway itself. Like it will not reach your application server at all, right? So connector management, IB objects. So all these functionalities are on your integration gateway, and this whole block, this is part of your web server, right? And this is the entry point for your integrations. Then
Mm.
comes integration engine, which sits on your application
Application.
server.
Okay.
So that's
Good.
that's the actual that's the actual business processing. Like that's actual, like it is going to run the handler code. So what I mean by that is, say you have some integration, you have a web service.
Mm.
Now you have provided that web service, and which is using HTTP. You have given the link to your third party integration, say http://psft.abc.com. Now when they hit and say web service and say get employee or something. So say this is the endpoint that your third party is going to hit. It will come to your system. So this request was authorized or not. Like if, I mean,
Yeah.
so if someone is sending you a web service request, you will verify the token or some kind of username, password, like any authentication that you use or certificate that it has presented to you. So that is your authentication, and then it will check for the schema. It will uh, execute something inside. So say you have created one code, get employee, which is in your app designer, right? So you have configured this service in such a way that when someone hits this URL, in the background, this method gets executed. The
Yeah.
block of code which is written in this method gets executed. Now this,
Mm.
the block of code which, so the block of code which gets executed behind the web service is called handler.
Mm.
So we are going to see this when we configure IB. We'll look at one sample service operation,
Okay.
web service. So the code which gets executed behind the scenes is called handler. Like
Okay.
it will read the request body,
Yeah. Yeah.
validate something, do
Mm.
some business logic, like
Yeah.
execute the code. all that stuff. So that is done on your application server.
Okay.
If you look at this diagram, so
Yeah.
we'll just go through this section: data handling, event handlers. Event handlers is in your
Oh,
the thing that we just talked about.
yes.
Uh, yeah, the code which gets executed in the background. That is your
Yeah.
event handler, right? So it could be a component interface, application class. There are different kinds of like people code which can be written in your application designer. And then comes the security. So we talked about authentication and all. So
Yeah.
that is done by application server.
Mm.
Integration broker events, then performance throttling. This is all too detailed. You will not be dealing with everything. Like this is the internal functioning of this integration engine. If you're
Yeah.
interested, you can go and read in
Sure.
detail. But I will tell you the log location and how to see an IB service, how to see the handler routings, all of that.
O- Okay.
Yeah. So this resides on your application server.
Mm.
I also wanted to see uh, the one second application servers. Let me see if I find the server processes name for
Mm.
the, this. No, this does not cover. Yeah, it is here. The publish, subscribe, processing. These are the process names, server
Mm.
process names. So there are message dispatchers. So DSP stands for dispatcher, HND stands for handler,
Mm.
and there should be broker as well. I think it's not there, but dispatcher and handlers. And there are three types of dispatchers: message dispatcher, publication dispatcher, and subscription dispatcher,
Okay.
and three kinds of handlers. So these are the server processes which are related to your pub sub servers. So when
Okay.
you mark that pub sub server yes, these six extra processes will start.
You can see?
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can leave pub sub servers as no. Quick server also no. We don't want to overload our VM, so we are going to start bare minimum server processes. Uh,
Okay.
Jolt should be Jolt should always be yes, because we want our web server to connect. So
Yeah.
Jolt should be yes. Jolt relay can be no. WSL can be no. Like we are not going to connect any application designer in 3-tier mode, so WSL can be no. PC debugger, you can leave it yes, not a problem. Event notification you can disable. Eighth, press
So
8 and
type A
enter. Enter. Yeah, so it
and
will toggle the value.
okay.
So it has
A
marked it
A is
as
not
no.
disabled. Okay.
Right. MCF can be no. MCF stands for multi-channel framework. So it is used for push notifications, sending mails, and those kind of things.
Okay.
Perf collator can be disabled. Collator is used when you want to measure the performance of your system, and when you enable
Performance.
performance monitor, yeah,
Okay.
you have to enable this perf collator, but we don't need it right now. We can disable it. Analytics server, that can also be disabled. We are not going to use that.
Save the save observability. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the observability
Uh,
monitoring. Okay. Domain gateway.
right. Yeah, that can be no. That's fine. Now,
Why we
coming
in
to DB name.
don't we have domain gateway? We don't.
Domains gateway, I'm not sure what that is on the application server, like what that option is for. Like
Mm.
we usually don't touch it.
Okay. Understand.
So DB name, just verify the database name,
Yeah.
CS922U033.
Yeah.
Database type is Oracle. Now
Yeah.
19th, which is your user ID. So
Yeah.
that should be your PS. So press 19 and enter. Give the
PS
value PS, enter. Yeah.
20.
User password 20. and enter the password for PS.
So same as the CS
Like
thing, right? CS
right.
92 U. I think 123.
Yeah,
I think that's what we use, yeah.
right.
So when we install that, so it should do the same.
Yeah, it should be the same. So
Okay.
if you give wrong password here, it is not going to start. Like your domain will fail to start.
CS 92 U 123.
Yeah,
Domain ID.
domain ID can be unchanged. Like you can give a custom name to it. Say if you're
Okay.
using it for development, you can give your development instance name, something like that. But
Okay,
you
understand.
can leave it as is. That's not a
Okay.
problem. Add to paths is, so there is a path variable on Linux and Windows both. Are you aware of that? Like what path variable is used for?
You mean environment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
environment variable.
for the search.
Right. So if you execute
Yeah,
any
yeah,
command, it is going to search in
exactly.
all the paths which are there in the path variable.
Okay.
So if you have, like, by default, it adds your PeopleSoft path, your like
Mm.
PeopleSoft PS Home bin path and other stuff. But
Yeah.
if you have, say, any other application that you are integrating with PeopleSoft, and if you want to add that bin, like path of the bin directory of that installation, you
Mm.
can modify this variable 22.
Okay.
But we are not going to modify that because we don't have anything.
Okay.
So
So if you have a custom thing bin and all that, then you use this.
right. So you are
Okay.
going to add, like separated by colon, you will add all the paths.
Okay. Okay. So you just keep adding whatever path you need.
Right.
Okay. I think connect ID we have
So
to give. Yeah. I
connect
think we.
ID, yeah, we have to give
I think I remember when installing, he was asking for that. What is that? I don't
right.
remember. What's the
People.
connect ID? People. Yeah. Yeah. People and small P O. Yeah.
Yeah.
POPLE. Uh,
1 second. First, you have to enter
select.
23,
Yeah. 23. Okay. 23. PEOPLE. And password we have to
and
give the
then
same.
password is
20,
24,
PEOP
1E.
1E. Yeah,
Yeah.
PEOP 1E.
Domain connection. 25th is domain connection password. That's for added security. So if someone has all your, say, if someone is creating a web server, uh, it and your application server does not have domain connection password, any web server can connect to this application server. So, but if you want to lock your application server with a password, you give this value, domain connection password. So if
Okay,
some web server wants to connect to your application server, they should also have your domain connection password. So
okay,
let's type 25 and give a password. And this can be different for different domains. Like if you have, say, 5 domains for the same application, you can
yeah,
use different passwords for all the domains.
okay. So what password?
In our case, the
One,
default one, CS92
yeah.
1
So then
yeah,
CS 92, 92, U, wasn't it? U,
U123.
123. Okay, CS 92, U, 123. Okay,
Right. Then PHC, which is a health center, we don't need that. So there is a facility in PeopleSoft where you can monitor the status of your servers, like how much RAM is
mm,
consumed, how much. So that is an extra, like you can do it using dashboards that
mm,
needs an extra advanced setup. So we don't want to do that as of now.
Okay.
Now the WSL port, it is already disabled, so we don't need to modify that. That's okay.
Mm.
Number 29, which is your JSL port. Now this port, if it is used by your other domain, you cannot reuse it. So you need to make sure that Jolt port, which is given in the application server, is unique for that domain. So the other domain which is created by default, it uses 9033. That is the port it uses. So we are good with 9000. We can
Okay.
leave it as is,
Okay.
and we can load the configuration now. So
40.
press 14
Okay.
and enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Warning.
So
Wait.
yeah, that's fine. So it says that PSAM service configured with only one minimum instance one.
Mm.
So like you can increase the number of server processes that
Okay.
start. So
Okay.
let's go into the configuration, and I'll show you the detailed configuration of application server. Go to
So
configure this domain again.
number four. Four.
Number
Yeah.
4. Yeah.
This will shut down the
Yes.
domain.
Yeah, that's fine. We have not started it, so
Okay. Yeah. Four.
that should be okay. Now, if you notice here, okay, scroll up a little.
Mm. Okay. Enter the 17 to 80 DB name. What? No,
No,
this is down
no,
there.
scroll up a little. Scroll up a little when it asked you, yeah. So if you see, it asked you if you want to shut down the domain. Now the domain was already shut down, like it was already off. But
Mm.
what it did was it started a process, BBL process, that is a mandatory process for Tuxedo to, like for
Mm.
a Tuxedo domain to work. So even if it wants to shut down a domain, it will first start the BBL process, then check if your services are shut down, and then
Mm.
shut everything down.
Okay. So
Right?
that's
So
like a
this,
master process that will make sure that even though someone is not started or want to kill, so he has to be started.
right, to check if other processes are running or not.
Okay. And that's
Yeah.
why it says
Scroll
shutting
down.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. Scroll down to the bottom. Here, press 15. Choose number 15, custom configuration. Enter. So now it will show you all the configuration. Like uh, in the summary of the configuration, you could see only a few options, like 20, 30 options. But now you're inside the actual configuration file, and you will get a lot
Oh,
of options that you can change.
okay. So,
Right.
we
So
were able to change this, you know? Okay,
right,
these were
right. So yeah. So
these
there
are
are
new.
advanced options. So for example, if you have a standby database, so there is a concept of standby database where like using a replication technology like data guard, you keep one standby database which is in read only. And what happens is all the select queries you can redirect to standby database, because it is read only. It can handle select queries. Update queries it will not be able to handle.
Mm,
So you can distribute the load, like you can decrease the load on your primary database, redirect
mm,
all the select queries to your standby database. Like that's uh, what it is. So if you have active data guard set up and you have a standby database which is in read only, and
mm.
you want to use it in your configuration, you can do that.
Okay.
Right. So uh, just press enter. So
Mm,
if you see this N, right? So that is
mm.
the default option which is chosen already. So you can
Yeah.
either enter Y and Q,
Yeah.
but the default is N. So if you do not enter anything, it will assume that you have entered N,
Okay.
right? So you can go ahead, like next.
Yeah. And just press enter. Yeah.
Yeah, enter.
Okay, okay. So now understand. So this has got more than what we had before.
Right.
Yeah, now
So if you
understand.
see the domain connection password was there,
Yeah,
values for security,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So yeah,
Mm,
enter. You're not going to change all the options, but there are some common options that you might need to change once your application is built. Say
okay.
you want to increase the number of PSAP PSRV processes, or you want to increase the number of SAM serve processes, you
Yeah,
can do it by editing this file. So
okay.
if you see, this section is for WSL, workstation listener. So if you
Yeah,
want to say change the port number, you can go here and change the port number.
okay.
And other like minimum handlers, maximum handlers, right? So
Yeah,
we talked about handlers in our diagram. So
yeah,
once your request is listened by the
yeah.
listener is going to pass that request to the handler.
Mm,
So handlers can be more than one. So if you want to start more handlers, you can change this number, minimum and maximum handlers.
mm,
Same goes for Jolt. So if
mm,
you see, minimum handler is one, maximum handlers are two,
mm.
and
Yeah.
port is 9,000. So you're trying to boot your application server and it is not getting up, and
Mm,
you find that the Jolt port that you've used is already used by any like other application server, and you
mm.
want to change the Jolt port, then you can
Okay.
come here and change the Jolt port. If you think that the maximum handlers need to change, you can come here and edit this number.
Okay. And what
And
is
if you
this
see Mac
address PS dash Mac?
PS
What's it?
Mac, that is your machine address.
Okay.
So it is an variable. It is a variable. So you do
Okay.
not have to hard code your machine's name. It will
Okay.
automatically pick.
Okay. All right. So can we change
If
one of these? Like say, I don't know, any timeout or whatever, just for if I say yes, can I say
yeah,
yes?
say
Yep.
yes.
Right, just say yes. Okay, so
Now
or
enter.
you can
If
enter
you
it. We
don't,
don't want to. Okay, understand.
right,
Okay, so what it
right,
gives you a
right,
default value, and you just
co-
choose whatever you want to change that. Okay,
right.
gotcha. Okay, so back to yeah. Okay,
Now we talked about the maximum clients. Like every server process can handle around 40 clients. That is
yeah.
configured here. So if you see max clients
Oh yes.
per handler, that is
Okay.
40.
So that's is a standard, or you can increase this?
You can increase it, but we usually don't touch this value.
Okay. All right, because you rather increase the capacity, right?
Right,
Okay. Okay. Understood. Okay,
right.
that's how you.
We increase
Okay.
the number of handlers.
Gotcha. Okay, so the stone listener address space magnet.
Enter.
Yeah. Okay. Domain settings. Nothing. Domain ID.
And there is this option, allow dynamic changes equal to Y. If you see in domain settings, allow
Yeah.
dynamic changes equal to Y. So what happens is, sometimes to troubleshoot, you have to increase the log level. So by default, it just logs the errors and some informational messages. But if you want more detailed information in the logs, you have to sometimes tweak the log parameters in the configuration file, which will come later. So when you change anything in the configuration, it needs a restart. Like you need to restart the server. To avoid that, like some parameters can be changed on the fly, like uh, they are
Without-
dynamic changes, and if you make those changes, you
Okay.
don't need to bounce the server. Now, if
Okay.
you want that to happen, this parameter allow dynamic changes should be Y. If this is N, any change that you make in the configuration will call for a restart. So
Okay.
if this is set to N, any changes you do in the configuration file, you have to bounce the domain for it to take effect.
So okay. So allow dynamic changes to Y means only these parameters or
No,
everything.
no, we will come to that. So there are
Okay.
many parameters that can be dynamically changed. We'll
Okay.
come to that.
Okay. So these are not
Uh,
that they're static. Okay.
Right. These are not the only ones which are dynamic. You can change many parameters. There are
Okay.
many dynamic parameters.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Press
And then
enter.
yeah.
Now here is the trace setting. So if you want to troubleshoot a transaction, say your transaction is ending in an error, and if you want to check what people code is being executed, what values are being passed, you have to take a trace. And the information written to a trace depends on these parameters. So I'll just share my screen to
Sure.
explain what this is.
Hmm.
Let me know once you're able to see.
Yes, I can.
So there are two things, say trace SQL and trace SQL mask. Two values. Trace SQL is 0 and trace SQL mask would be 12319 or something.
Yes.
Now what this means is, and just before that, okay, we will see like you will understand it more when you open the actual configuration file. This menu is just to change the values, but actual configuration file will have some comments as well. So you'll understand more from there. But I'll just explain what this is. So this value, trace SQL, trace value will decide what trace is written at all times. Like someone logs in to the application, and if this value is greater than 0, so if it is 1, it is going to write one level of trace for all the transactions. But if it is set to 0, which means default trace is 0, like you don't want any trace to be generated for all the transactions. If it is more than 1, it will generate traces for all the transactions. Like every for every person who is logged in, he's doing say 1,000 transactions, everything will be generated as trace. And we usually keep it 0, because if say there are 400 users, and if you just modify it from 0 to 1, it will generate a lot of files on the server, and you're going to run out of space. So
Okay.
this is
So,
not a
so
good idea.
of course not. So you
Yeah.
use this in the model in the labs in environment to test
Right.
something. Something is that when you debugging some problems. Is that right?
Right. So if it is a small domain, say your demo database or your development database or training database, you will
Mm.
you can increase this value just for 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum.
Okay.
The other one, trace SQL mask, tells you max level of trace that can be generated. Now, what this means is, on your login page, uh, okay, so go to PIA, like go to your browser and open the login page.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, for SQL statements, just write one space SQL statement, one space SQL statement,
One space,
space SQL statement.
or you will select no, or just type it.
Just type it's SQL statement. So
One
the
word.
first
Oh, now,
option,
yeah.
yeah, first option in the trace settings. Now, for the second one, on the second line, type two space variables.
SQL statement variables or
Yeah,
just variables.
variables. Just for our understanding, just
Yeah.
type something, variables. On the third line, type three, sorry, not three, four connect. On the next line, type 8 fetch, fetch. Right. Like we will take this much example. So if you
Mm.
see the numbers are 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16,
Okay.
32,
Oh, yeah.
something like that.
Binary. Okay.
Now, yeah, binary. Now do the total of this. So it is 7 plus 8, 15. The
Yeah.
total of this is 15.
Good.
Now, write on the next line, total is
Mm.
15, and press to enter 2 3 times, and type SQL mask, trace SQL mask,
Trace SQL
the
bus.
value which is, yeah, trace SQL mask. This value is in your application server. Like we just saw that there is one mask value.
Yeah.
Now, if you have checked all these options on this trace page, one,
Mm.
2, 4, 8, but the SQL mask is 3, set trace SQL mask equal to 3.
Mm. So it's gonna take only two. First two.
Right, first two. Yeah, so mask will
Oh,
decide
okay, gotcha.
maximum till,
All right.
yeah, maximum how much trace you can set.
Okay,
So
so
for
say
example,
so if the mask is
yeah,
it's a three, as you said, three
yeah,
means
3,
these two will be taken.
yeah, these two will be taken. If you
Yeah.
select, these two will be taken, as in if you select only first one,
Oh,
only
okay.
one will be taken.
Yes.
If you just say select mask is the maximum value that you can choose on this page.
Okay. Okay.
And if it is say 7, trace PC mask is 7, which means you can choose maximum first three options, like any of the first three options or all of them,
Mm. Okay.
not more than that, right? So this
But
is
we saw quite a large number of masking there, like 17,000,
right,
17.
right. We will see what that is. We'll
Okay.
see in a while. Go back to the configuration. So similarly, the mask and trace values are for people code, which is trace PC. PC stands for people code. PC mask is for people code mask.
Okay, so this one,
So all these values you
this
can
one is only for the first one, first group,
write
SQL mask.
1 to 3, 1, 9. Now what happens is in production, you would usually keep it 0 0. Even mask would be 0 or a very less value, like 3 or something. Mask value would be 3 or 7 or something. So that by mistake, if someone generates the trace, it
Mm.
will not be too huge. Like it is not going to crash down your server.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the trace values.
Mm.
Go to the next option.
They said no. Yeah, enter.
Enter. Yeah. You enter.
This
Enter.
is enter.
Cache settings. So we discussed that like application server is going to fetch everything from the database, but it is not going to make that trip every time. It is going to store some files on its local file system so that
Mm.
it does not have to hit the database for every request. So these
Okay.
settings are for that.
So these are the
Yeah.
standard settings.
Then
You don't change.
no, we I have never changed it. Like
Okay.
we don't
Mm.
usually change.
Okay.
Yeah. This is for COBOL. This also we don't usually change.
Okay.
So the last one is the path of all your COBOL files. Like wherever your COBOL, I mean compiled COBOL files are there, those
Mm.
paths should be there in this path. So if you have any customization on the COBOL bin path, then you have to modify this variable. Otherwise, there is no need to touch. Now
Is
comes
COBOL
our,
still in use? I thought COBOL is dead for long.
yeah, but there are in finance there are couple of processes which are important and they still run on COBOL. Like we have alternatives, but like for
Mm.
example, my client still runs COBOL,
Okay.
and you have to pay extra for COBOL's license to
Mm.
Oracle.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is our favorite PSAP PSRV.
Yes.
So this handles all our online transactions. If you want to increase the number of instances, you can modify the parameters from here.
But do you normally increase or just leave it? What's the standard?
So when we select the template, we make
Yeah.
sure we select the right template. So
Yeah.
if you want a large domain, we would select large, and in that
Okay.
you will have like 15 PSAPP processes.
Okay. So because we
This is a
chose
developer,
yeah, developer just two and two.
right,
Okay. Okay.
right.
Good. Good.
And yeah, and this recycle count is something like, uh, if it has served 1,000 requests, it will
Yeah.
kill itself. Like a new process will be started,
Oh, why is that?
because what happens, I'll explain why. What happens is when a PSAPP SRV starts, it is basically a Java process,
Mm.
right? And
Yeah.
it is going to it is going to increase in size, as in it is going to consume more and more RAM as it handles more requests. So if you want to retire it after serving n number of requests, you can
Mm.
specify that number here so that it kills itself. And there is a
Mm.
process called PS watch serve, like WATCH watch serve, which
Yeah.
will take care of this restarting this PSAP PSRB. So if it kills itself, a new process bonds automatically.
Okay. But it does make sure that that process is not in use anymore before the killing.
Right. After completing the transaction, it will kill itself. It's
Okay.
not that it will kill itself in the pending transaction.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
after thousandth request, after
Yeah.
completing 1,000 requests, it will be recycled.
Okay. Got
Then
you.
there is a parameter called process restart memory limit, which
Mm.
which does not depend on the number of transactions. It depends on the how much memory is consumed by that process. So say you
Mm.
can specify 3 GB. So if PSAPP SRV crosses 3 GB, it
Mm.
completes that transaction and it kills itself. Like
Okay.
it restarts. Yeah. So that's what these
Mm.
parameters are. Usually you won't touch them. They are
Okay.
fine tuned, and
Yeah.
if you modify, like if you have to modify these parameters, that means your
Mm.
capacity planning was
Poor.
not done properly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So scared to
Press
enter.
enter. Analytics serve. Same. Now for each server process, these options will come.
Okay.
Enter.
This is
PSAM serve. It
yeah.
complained that your maximum instance is one for
Yeah.
PSAM serve. So if you want to
Yeah.
increase, you can increase it here. Enter.
Okay.
Quick serve,
Yeah.
which is used to execute frequently executed SQLs.
Yeah.
Next, query
Mm.
serve. This is for handling the PS query requests. So there is something called query manager in PeopleSoft
Yeah.
and query viewer, from where users can run the reports. Like they can export the reports in Excel, HTML, all different formats. And those kind of requests, they are also SQL queries, select queries, but
Mm.
they usually run for long, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So you do
Mm.
not want to block your PSAPP SRV serving that transaction. So
Mm.
you can have a dedicated process which
Yeah.
handles only PS query requests.
Mm.
This process is for that. And if you
Okay.
disable this, if you disable this, um, like your PSAPP SRV is going to take care of the PS query
Oh yeah.
requests as well.
Wow. Okay. Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enter.
Enter.
And if you see here, Java VM options. So Java VM options for PS query server. It is 256 MB minimum and 512 MB maximum.
Mm.
Because this query server process is a Java process, it will start JVM and it will start with 256 MB. Now it
Mm.
needs this much of memory because it usually generates Excel files, and Excel files in PeopleSoft are generated using some Java programs. So
Okay.
some Apache libraries, and it requires a bit more, like it requires more memory. That's why, and you
Okay.
can tweak these parameters. Like you can increase the values if that is not sufficient for your application.
Okay.
Yeah. Enter. So now your pub sub server processes have
Okay.
started.
Integration broker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Integration broker. Same kind
Okay.
of options. You
Yeah.
can press enter, enter,
So
enter.
PSADMIN, yeah, cloud.
Yeah,
Is it
this
SMT?
is this is for SMTP. So if
Yeah.
your application is sending mails to some email IDs, you
Mm.
need SMTP server configured here. So
Mm.
you would specify the SMTP server and SMTP port.
So
So
you,
these
yeah,
two values, first
you
two
would put
values,
your email address here.
the sender email address.
Yeah.
So for
Oh, the system.
yeah, or like if you have a support group, for example, you can
Yeah.
use that email address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the only three values that you will uh, change: SMTP server, SMTP port, and sender. That's it.
Mm.
That's all we change usually. And if you want to have a backup server, you can
In
specify SMTP
the
server 1,
server and port and
right?
the
Sender.
sender. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to specify the backup SMTP server, you can specify it in SMTP server 1. So you can configure two SMTP servers. So if
Oh, okay.
you,
Okay.
yeah,
So these are for the SMT backup SMT.
right.
Understood. Yeah. Okay. So
Press
yes.
enter,
Enter.
enter,
Enter. PS tools.
enter. This is more regarding like if you are collecting some metrics from
Yeah.
your server, especially for your health center setup, then these options are used. Otherwise, they are not used. So there is
Okay.
something called JMX. There is a protocol called JMX,
Mm.
which is used to collect the metrics. And your JMX requires one process to run RM registry. There is one process called RM registry.
Okay.
To trigger that, this enable remote administration should be one. So uh, this is for the health center setup,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
like which is not widely used. You'll
Okay.
find it in very few organizations.
Okay.
Enter,
And
enter,
and enter
enter.
this.
Renserve is for real-time event notification. So if you have uh, there there are use cases for Renserve. If you want to enable it, you can choose event notification from that quick menu. You can
Mm.
enable event notification. Yeah,
Okay.
PPM serve is for performance monitor. So if you want to collect performance metrics, you can
Yeah.
enable this service.
Okay.
Enter
PS monitor.
monitor serve. This is uh, again like this collects the metrics for all the processes. So if you're using health center, it will be helpful. It is going to send you the metrics.
Okay.
Enter, enter.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Now do one thing. So this is the second way of looking at the configuration. So the first way was quick quick menu where you
Yeah.
could change the values directly. The
Yeah.
second way was to go inside the configuration in detail. The
Okay.
third option is to edit the configuration file directly.
Okay.
So click option number 6.
Ah, from here. Okay.
Yeah, and select first option,
So this
domain
is how
configuration.
we are going through everything before. Okay. Is it or we want?
Earlier it was a different process. We used to
Ah.
go to
Yeah.
file
Okay.
system,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
added a
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So this
Understood.
is the actual configuration file. So you
Okay.
can modify the values here as well. And
Okay.
if you search trace, so
Mm.
type slash and trace, T capital RACE. No, not everything in capital. Only T is
Oh.
capital.
Oh. Is it
Yeah. Enter and type N.
M? Yeah.
No, N. N for
N.
nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah. N once again.
Next.
N, like once more. Once again. Yeah. So here, like you were asking, right, where this value came from, 12319. So this is the full list. So for
Yeah.
SQL statements, it is 1, variables 2, 4, it goes up
Mm,
to 8192.
okay, okay, okay. So if you need to put
Um,
the SQL statements and these two, you just use three.
Right.
Okay, and if you want to use like 106, this one 1024, and
You add the numbers
5.
1025. Yeah. Just
Okay,
add
okay,
the numbers,
yeah.
whatever options you want to
It's
choose.
a binary thing anyway, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Now use your arrow keys to scroll down.
Mm,
So this is the SQL trace, then people code trace, all of
mm,
that. Now go to the first line, type colon 1, colon 1. It takes you to the first line.
yeah.
Now search for uh, dynamic, D capital, everything small. Yeah, enter. So if you see allow dynamic changes equal to Y, it is set here. Now we want to see where, like what all settings can be dynamically changed. So press N.
Mm,
Right. So now whatever options can be changed will have this
mm,
statement written in the comments. Dynamic change allowed for log size limit. Press
mm.
N. Right. So wherever
It's
this
not allowed.
is written,
No, but this one says
yeah,
dynamic not allowed.
not allowed. Yeah. So depending on the comment, you can know if
Okay,
it is allowed or not.
yeah, okay, okay, okay. That's strange. Okay, yeah. No, no, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
Mm,
So this is all you need to know on the
mm,
configuration part. If you know
okay,
this much, you will be able to handle 90% of the configurations.
okay. Just exit.
Yeah. Exit.
Okay. So you can. So this is edit, and there's a view also. So the view
That
is.
is for the logs. View is only for the logs. Edit
Oh,
is for the configuration.
okay.
Yeah.
So when you say view, log
So,
means
and
like
I,
you can see log.
right.
No.
So we will now see which folder they are
Okay.
stored in. Let's
Yeah.
get out of this menu. Press Q
Q.
and get to the prompt. Q, enter.
Oh, probably here. Okay.
Yeah. Now type cd space dollar in capital letters ps underscore cfg underscore home.
CFG.
Yeah, underscore home. Now there are some environment variables which are set. Uh, so
Mm,
ps configuration home is one of them.
yeah.
Configuration home is something where your domains are created. So here it says ps cfg home, ps home, ps app home.
Mm,
You see three lines in ps
yeah.
admin menu.
Yeah.
In the middle of your screen there are three values.
Yeah.
So out of these, ps cfg home is the path where your domains are created. ps home is the actual people tools home where all your binaries and stuff for supporting these installations domains that is present. And ps app home is application specific file. Like for campus solutions, the files would be different. For ps app
Okay.
home, for fscm application it would be different. But
Mm,
ps home will be common for all the applications, whether it
mm,
be finance, hr's, campus
yeah.
solutions. It does not matter. ps
Okay.
app home will change. And ps
Okay.
cfg home is always empty. So when you create the domains, this folder will be, the files will be created in this folder.
Mm.
Now,
So
if you
what is CFG home? Did you say it's configuration?
configuration home,
Okay,
right?
so all the configurations are stored here.
Your
Okay.
domains,
Oh, domain.
basically all your domains will be there,
Okay, so
nothing else.
you're talking about the app server domain and the web server domain both.
Right. So in app serve folder, your
Yeah,
application server domains will be there,
yeah,
and in web serve folder, your web servers will be there. And if
okay,
you go inside app serve,
yeah,
go to app serve once, enter ls.
yeah. Oh, we got the two. With the
Yeah,
one we
there
created.
you will, yeah, there you will see PRCS folder. So PRCS
Okay,
folder will have all your process schedulers.
but the
So there are
PSC
three folders.
PSCS is not the app server, but still it's clubbed together.
Right, because they both run on Tuxedo. So you have
Okay.
AppServe, in which you
Mm,
have application server domains. Then you have
okay.
PRCS folder inside AppServe,
Yeah.
which has
Okay.
your process scheduler domain, and
Mm,
WebServe is a separate folder.
mm,
Now in AppServe, you want to go to the domain which is running right now. So go to AppDom, ls.
okay.
Yeah. So here you will see there is cache folder.
Mm,
There is logs folder.
mm.
Go to cache.
Oh.
It's in caps. ls. So every server process is going to create its own folder in cache. So say you have two PSAPP SRV servers, right? Like two PSAPP SRV processes, right? So you'll have two folders, PSAPP SRV underscore one and
Yeah.
underscore two.
Yeah. And these are integration points.
Similarly, right, correct.
Okay.
So if someone tells you, hey, can you please clear the cache and bounce the application server? What you
Mm,
need to do is you first shut down the application server, go
mm.
to this cache folder, delete everything, and then bring up the application server.
So what does bounce mean? Is it kill and stop and start?
Till no, for shutting it down, you use the PSADMIN menu.
Yeah. No,
So if
no.
you go to PSADMIN menu,
No. Sorry. You said like bounce that server. What does that bounce mean? I never heard of that word.
no, right. So bounce means shutting it down first and bringing it up again.
Okay, that's
So
for bounce. Okay,
bring it
okay.
down and yeah, that is bounce.
That's the jargon.
Right.
Okay, okay. I get you. So
So
you need to clear the cache before you bounce it.
it's not a mandate. If
But it's a good practice.
developer specifically asks you, not a good practice, like it's a bad practice actually. So if
Oh,
your application is running, you will not want to clear the cache because it will impact your performance. Like it will
oh,
be slow for some time. But what happens is, say in your development instance,
mm,
developer has migrated some changes, done
mm,
some changes, but they're not running as expected. Like it is the transaction is giving different results, and
mm,
he's suspecting that there is the cache is corrupted and it needs to be
mm.
cleared. In those
Okay,
cases, you'll clear the cache.
okay. So
And
you probably can
second,
do that in the non-prod, but not in the prod, right?
right, in prod you will do it when you perform the weekend maintenance.
Okay.
So the changes to production are usually migrated on a Friday night or Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
At that time, you migrate the changes and then
Mm,
you have to bounce everything, your application server, web server, scheduler.
okay.
During that bounce, you will usually clear the cache because
Okay.
new code was just migrated, so you don't want it to, uh, your cache should not be stale. So
Yeah.
you will clear cache in that case. Go back one folder, ls.
Mm,
Second important folder is your logs folder.
mm,
Go to logs, Now,
Mm,
95% of the times or 99% of the times, you will interact with only these two folders, logs and cache. Other files which are there,
yeah.
they are related to your configuration, and you will do those changes using PSADMIN. You will not come here and modify anything. So the folders that you would usually look into are logs and cache. So if you can you type ls hyphen ltr?
Mhm.
Sorry, have you typed it, or
Yeah.
your screen is still stuck on std error? I can see just std error files.
No, I just did that.
No, yeah, yeah. Now it is reflected. Yeah. So ls hyphen ltr, right? Yeah. So it will show you the latest files which are modified,
Yeah.
right? And ls hyphen l is to display the results in detail, like
Yeah.
all these columns. T is to sort it by time, and R stands for reverse order. So
Yeah.
LTR, list everything, sort it by time, but in reverse order. So you will
Mhm.
see the latest file at the bottom.
Yeah.
So yeah, the most important file here is appsrv underscore date.log.
This
So
one?
this file, these files get recycled every day. So
Mm.
once the date changes, you will see another file created with 1010.log, right? Something like that.
Nothing there.
So yeah, sorry, you typed ls as well.
No, no, this is
No,
okay. Huh?
just type less.
You
Just type
can't
tail
tell this one?
tail space hyphen f space file name.
Mm. Okay.
So it will display
I
few
don't know what
lines,
it doesn't mean. That,
last few
yeah.
lines.
Okay. You need, I don't understand this at the moment, but we will have to learn this. So this is the best way to learn,
Yeah,
yeah? Going through the logs.
right, right. So
Mm.
this log file will contain some messages, like if someone has logged in, if he's logged in successfully, it will print in the log. If he entered a wrong password, it will print in the log. And the third case is when some error occurs in the application, at that time it will be
Mm.
logged. Like it will just contain a few things, like, but you can increase the log level. You
Mm.
can change the parameter log fence parameter in the configuration, but you usually don't do that. Like only when you have to debug some issue, you would increase the log level. Otherwise,
Mm.
these three things are printed: your
Mm.
successful login, failed login, and any error.
Okay. And but we don't look into the standard error and standard out. Those are those report by the programs, is it? We don't care too much about that, do we?
Yeah, so your first entry point will be AppServe. So we cannot say that we don't look in those files at all. So say if your PS query is not working, it writes to these std error or std out files. So,
You see,
but
because for instance, there's something here on 65 there, right? So if I do the cat on this,
no, it is 0 KB. So there is nothing in the file. They are all blank. Okay,
is,
no, the 65 one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please open that.
yeah, is there nothing there? Just a picked up Java
It
option.
is
This is
nothing there, right? Ah, yeah. Picked up Java options. So that is
yeah,
when you started your PS admin.
yeah.
Maybe that's when it logged this
And this is
message.
BBL check. BBL is for that one main sub.
BPL main process. You don't have
Yeah,
to check that. It
you don't
might
have.
contain the PID or something. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
we're not bothered about that.
Okay.
We usually check appsrv.log. Like
Mm,
most of the times, you will check this log. Second place is to check your std error, std out, if
mm,
there is any error there.
mm,
And your tux log will only tell you like when your server was booted, or if any server process was restarted, recycled. All those messages will be in tux log, tuxedo
okay.
log.
Understand.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and tux access log will print like your web server, like all the clients that are trying to connect. It will
Mm,
log the messages for that.
okay.
Yeah. So say like when you would check these logs, when you are uh, like you know that your application server is up, your web server is up, but still you are not able to log in. At,
Mm,
and sometimes what happens is your domain connection password is incorrect, or due to failed logins, your IP is blocked, web server IP is blocked. That can also happen. So all those messages will be in your tux log and tux access log, and
mm,
that is very rare. So if you have everything like correctly set up, you will
mm,
not find any useful information in that.
mm.
AppSRV log is the main one where you will find the errors.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we are going to start our domain.
Yeah.
Let's go to PSADMIN. Like I'll just take 5 more minutes and we'll end for
Okay.
today.
So go to PSADMIN.
Yeah, PSADMIN. Go to our domain.
Sorry. One.
Go to the go to the domain which we created. Yeah, application server.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
and two.
Second,
Yeah.
boot this.
Okay. We're gonna put this. Okay. Put serial.
So serial boot and parallel boot will go with serial. It
Okay.
will start the processes one after another.
Mm,
If you go with parallel boot, it will start all the processes at once.
okay. Which is not good.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
So first it will start the BBL process.
Yeah, and stops it. Huh? Now it's making sense, eh? The way that it's rebooting. Also, now I can relate to what you explained.
Right. So it is
Yeah.
going to start the watch serve. Watch
Mm,
server is responsible to
mm,
oversee all the processes. If something gets killed abruptly, it will start that process again.
okay. So we can just
Right. So now it has started.
yeah,
Now,
secure. Just maybe. Okay, I just went there just to see if this started. Okay, here.
yeah.
Okay. Q.
Yeah.
Q.
Matoda.
So this is we just
Yeah.
created the application server only. Yeah, not on the web server yet.
Right. Only application server. But now, how we are going to access this application server? I mean, there is no web server connected to this application server, right?
Yeah.
So we need to connect one web server to this application server. So
Yeah.
tomorrow we are going to create that web server. But
Okay.
for now, I'm going to show you how to
Do you
load
need to
balance the
have
requests on the application server.
so okay? Can we have one web
Sorry.
server and the two application servers?
Yeah, that is what we are going to do.
Okay.
So
Good.
I showed you in the diagram.
Yes.
Let me share my screen quickly.
Yeah.
Let me know once you're able to see.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
So we talked about this where we have one web server and it can send requests to both the
Mm,
application servers. So
yes.
even if one goes down,
Yeah.
the second one can take up that request. So we are
Okay.
going to test this thing. Yeah. So now what we are going to do is bring down
Okay.
the second application server as well.
Oh, it's bring down.
Yeah,
Okay.
bring down the first
Okay.
application server app DOM.
One, yeah. Administrative server
Yeah,
domain. One. Domain
shut it
shutdown.
down. Right.
Two. Normal.
Normal or forced, it does not matter because no one is logged in right now. So
What is the
what force will
normal? You
what
will
force
wait for
will do?
people to drop down, drop off.
Right. So if some server process is busy serving a transaction,
Yeah.
it will wait for that transaction to complete.
Okay.
But
So
force
normally,
shutdown
when
will,
you do production, you do the normal.
right, we go with normal.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is shut down. Let's go to
Uh,
the browser.
but we haven't shut down the other one. Oh, okay. Just one
That's
second.
fine. The
Okay.
other one is unused right now. Like
Yeah.
we have not connected any web server with that. Let's try to log in.
So should I remove the trace Y or keep it? Doesn't matter.
That's okay. Anyway, the application server is down, so we
Yeah.
just want to see that message. That's it
Oh, everything service is down.
at this time. So you will not be able to log in. Now let's
Okay.
do one thing. Let's connect our new application server with the
Mm-hmm.
current web server. So just type
Okay.
Control C, Control C. It
Control
will
C.
Control C. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll come to the prompt.
Okay.
Go to configuration home again. Go to PSCFG home,
Oh no, you mean just
the folder,
C? Okay.
PSCFG home folder, dollar
C.
PSCFG home
Where's that PS CFG?
underscore PS
G.
underscore CFG underscore home.
Yeah.
Go to web serve folder,
What's the folder? CD.
web serve. Yeah, here ls. Here you will see we have PeopleSoft domain. Like
Is it?
that's the name of our web server domain, PeopleSoft. Go to PeopleSoft. Now there is a file called configuration.properties. We need to edit that. So let's find that file. No, it is not here. It is deep inside, like deep
Okay.
inside the subfolders. So we need to find that.
Let me.
Type find space dot like the meaning of dot is the current directory. So
Yeah.
we want to start our search from the current directory.
Mm.
Hyphen name. So we want to search by name. Config star dot prop star.
Sorry. Config.
Config
Star.
star. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dot prop prop.
PRO or properties. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Enter. Yeah. So
Step
if you
two.
see, one file is in portal.war, one is in
Mm.
psemhub.war. We want to modify the one which is in portal.war because that's the war file which takes care of our online transaction.
Okay.
So
Let's
let's
change this. We can just get
type
here.
yeah, or we can directly edit this vi space
Yeah.
the file path. Yeah, here your screen is not very much visible to me because
It's
of the
blue.
color.
Going blue. How do I
Can we
change this?
Yeah, you can change it using color scheme. So type color scheme, COLOR scheme together, space RON, 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 enter.
Okay. Better?
Yeah, so better. So if you see, there is something called PS server, just two lines above your cursor, PS server. So this is the list of application server it connects to. So right now it is connecting to your psft.cs.com, which is your VM. on which DSL port? 9033. Now 9033 is a port
For the abdom, yeah.
uh, for the abdom. Now we
Yes.
want to add one more entry. So type Shift A. Yeah. So it goes into append mode. So it goes to the end of the line. Type comma. Type psft.cs.com, like the machine name on which our application server is.
This one.
Yeah. psft.cs.com.